Ukraine's kamikaze boats have become one of Russia's biggest fears. No known defense system can stop them without sweating it out, and so when they sail out on missions, a Russian structure is about to be destroyed. So stick around to take a closer look at these invincible machines that have shocked the world. But first, the latest news on the literal shock they've brought to Russia. Secret kamikaze boats. As the war in Ukraine continues to travel into Russian territory, unmanned vehicles, whether aerial or surface, have seen more time in the sun. While aerial drone impacts have occurred more often, they've usually made relatively minor damage, destroying windows and the like. This was the case on May 3rd, May 30th, July 24th, and August 1st when Russia was invaded by dozens of aerial drones armed with explosives to leave scorch marks on Russian soil. On the other hand, when Ukraine needs to cause serious damage, then unmanned kamikaze boats are just the tool for that. This was seen a few weeks ago on July 17th, a Monday that would see Russia awoken by two loud explosion blasts. A section of Russia's Crimean bridge had been blown up and significantly damaged. It was the second attack on the bridge in only a few months, and it'll likely not be the last. The bridge is a 12-mile-long reminder to Ukraine of Russia's all-out war on the country in 2014 that resulted in the annexation of the Crimean Peninsula. And with Crimea went all of Ukraine's major Navy boats but one. So the bridge was always a likely recipient of maritime-based statement-making attacks from Ukraine. The recent July 17th attack, not offering any surprises, was quickly established to be from Ukraine, and their choice of weapon was none other than kamikaze drone boats. Russia is already making efforts to effectively defend against Ukraine's new favorite boats. Ukraine has been investing more time, focus, and resources in building newer, more advanced, and more lethal boats to overcome Russia's current and future defenses. The result of this is an entire fleet of kamikaze drone boats powered by groundbreaking lethal technology. Drone boats are powered by a suite of technologies that make them crucial assets for any navy. As a result, both Ukraine and a close ally, the United States, are constantly working on them. Starting with Ukraine, here are those drone boats. Ukraine's lethal drones. Ukraine, understandably, is quite focused on drone boats with kamikaze destinies. Arguably the most effective maritime strikes accessible to the country, these boats are a top priority to Ukraine. So much so that Ukraine's digital transformation minister, Mikhailo Fyodorov, said in an interview back in May that naval drones were among the top 3 most important unmanned systems in Ukraine. This prioritization has resulted in the quick growth of Ukraine's drone boat fleet, which now consists of some of the most advanced drone boats on the planet. Here they are. First-generation strike drone. The first-generation strike drone was Ukraine's proof-of-concept kamikaze drone. It is a small, high-speed, and highly maneuverable remotely controlled vessel based on the quite common GTX or Fish Pro civilian jet skis from the Canadian company Sea-Doo. Using already existing boats greatly simplified and reduced the cost of drone production. These jet skis, whose destinies would be explosively different from those bought by a regular Joe in Canada, were heavily modified to execute their tasks effectively. As a result, each boat gets a completely new metal hull to replace the fiberglass hull that came with it. Up to 440 pounds of explosives is mounted in the middle of this hull, and it would detonate on impact with the target. The boat is powered by a jet propeller located at the aft of the hull. The propeller works in conjunction with a powerful Rotax 3-cylinder engine capable of accelerating the jet ski up to 70 miles per hour and across a range of 500 miles. To ensure constant communication with its controllers at base despite the unforgiving terrain of the seas, the drone boat is packed with Starlink global navigation satellite systems, inertial navigation systems, and cameras for visual navigation. All of these combine to give the boat a hefty unit price of $250,000. After this boat, Ukraine would also modify the Kawasaki STX for similar tasks. Toloka TK-150 underwater drone. The Toloka TK-150 is a kamikaze underwater drone that functions similarly to a torpedo. Developed by Ukrainian company Brave One, the drone is designed to swim just below the surface of the water, with the mast and compartment housing communication and camera systems still poking above the water surface level. This design aids the drone in remaining undetectable by radars and the human eye, while at the same time allowing for effective communications to be constantly maintained between the drone and its base. Powered by an electric engine, the 8-foot-long drone can swim up to 62 miles to destroy its targets with a payload of up to 110 pounds. The drone can also be used for non-destructive missions, such as locating enemy units at sea, gathering intelligence, or detecting mines. Having proved its effectiveness without reasonable doubt, the TK-150 has motivated Brave One engineers to consider larger, more advanced versions for development, namely the 20-foot-long TLK-400 and 40-foot-long TLK-1000. Megura V5. In March, the kamikaze drone that Ukraine would prioritize the most was unveiled. It was named the Megura V5, and it is constantly upgraded to be as lethal as can be. The Megura V5 is an 18-foot-long drone boat capable of wielding up to 705 pounds of payload. The payload can be kamikaze explosives that detonate on boat impact, or it could be sea mines. So when the boat is not ramming targets into oblivion, it can stealthily place mines or protect friendlies from mines by identifying and neutralizing enemy mines. Thanks to its advanced sensory and imaging technologies, the V5 is also a surveillance and reconnaissance boat capable of gathering real-time intelligence. Using this intelligence, the boat can conduct extensive sea patrols to monitor hostile activities and contribute to search and rescue missions, offering a swift and efficient response in times of need. To achieve all of these, the V5 has a top speed of 48 miles per hour and an impressive range of 520 miles. To reliably and continuously relay information back to base and remain under remote control, its connectivity can be via a mesh radio with an air-based repeater or satellite communications. As Ukraine continues to make waves in drone boat development to frustrate Russia, so does another Russian rival, the US. Here are the resulting US boats. The United States has multiple drone boats in the works, but one that has stood out greatly in both functionality and its likeness to Ukraine's boats is the Arabian Fox. Arabian Fox. The Arabian Fox is a 13-foot-long USV reportedly capable of reaching speeds of up to 40 knots and having a maximum at-sea endurance of 36 hours. It is equipped with an MX-10MS sensor turret with electro-optical and infrared full-motion video cameras, as well as robust communication and artificial intelligence-enabled control suites. Therefore, the boat can sail semi-autonomously along set routes and features an autonomous collision avoidance capability that allows it to sail safely together in close proximity to other vessels. The boat can also be controlled manually using line-of-sight data links created by a mesh network made up of various assets. The Arabian Fox is no kamikaze drone, or at least not yet. Rather, it's an escort boat that helps provide additional situational awareness as part of a larger group of naval vessels, especially high-value assets like warships carrying top officials. The boat has already made multiple transits of the Strait of Hormuz alongside other U.S. naval vessels this year, with one transit on August 6 showing just how integrated this relatively tiny boat had become into the U.S. Navy's fleet of massive ships. The U.S. and Ukraine aren't the only two powerful nations investing heavily into drone technology. So the million-dollar question today is, why is there a global obsession with drones? Drones have become the order of the day. They're on everybody's lips and on every nation's budget. There are reasons for this, though, as drones offer some crucial benefits that manned vessels could not even dream of offering, such as: Number 3. Reduced cost. Generally built using readily available materials combined with technological innovations such as artificial intelligence and 3D printing, drone manufacturers are able to keep per-unit acquisition and maintenance costs to a fraction of the cost of manned vehicles. Number 2. Increased convenience. Compared to conventional aircraft, drones are faster and easier to deploy. They are easier to operate and do not need training as extensive as most aircraft. Many drones don't need a runway, and other types can easily fit in a backpack. Number 1. Minimal risk. lethal attack. Drone operators, usually miles away from the explosive action, can provide real-time information and action without putting themselves at direct risk. This keeps collateral damage low and preserves precious talent. Yet their drones can still lethally deliver their explosive payload like any manned vehicle would, with the added bonus of a kamikaze option. Now, surely there are 1,000,001 more reasons to opt for drones, and it appears both the US and Ukraine are well aware. Both nations continue to pour resources into the development of their drone fleet. The US primarily for escorting its larger vessels on the seas, and Ukraine primarily for putting the fear of an originally innocent vessel in the heart of Russians. To improve the fleets of both nations, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Thanks for watching.